Hello everyone. As we speak today, India has lost one of its seasoned politicians from a party which has stood for the unprivileged sections, the downtrodden sections of the society. We're talking about Mulayam Singh Yadav. We're talking about a person who has spent a lot of years in Indian politics, especially from the state of Uttar Pradesh. And here today, on his death, we are looking at the contributions which are being made by Mulayam Singh Yadav during his journey. He passed away at 82 years of age. Mulayam Singh Yadav was short in height but extremely driven politically. From a very young age, he started his career, started his life in politics. Born in 1939, coming from an extremely humble background of peasants. In his early life, he was actually interested in becoming a wrestler. He always showed signs as to how he stood for the cause of the Dalit community. So, even during his school times, in order to save a boy from the Dalit community, Mulayam Singh Yadav thrashed a group of upper class boys all by himself. And in this regard, he is referred to as Dada Bhaiya. A lot of names are given to him, including Netaji. He stepped into politics at a young age of 15 years of age, influenced by the writer Ram Manohar Lohia, a socialist, and accordingly, he was one of those leaders who actually took part in politics, or for that matter, became a leader born out of lot of mass movements. He was someone who was connected to the masses, who knew the pulse of his people. In order to kind of look back at his entire journey, we are looking at someone who's contributed significantly in the historical process of how regional politics are basically, or regional parties are basically mainstream, especially in North India. He's had a very troubled political journey for that matter. He actually managed to become one of the youngest member of the state assembly when he contested elections back in 1967 for the Socialist Party. He stood particularly for the backward sections, especially the Yadavs, for whom he was the Dharti Putra, or the son of the soil. So, from a very young age, very early in his career, he started working for the cause of the lower caste as well as the minorities. As far as his political career is concerned, he was elected as an MLA 10 times and also as an MP, particularly from the Mainpuri and the Azamgarh district. The MLA, Jaswant Nagar Nathu Singh, basically recognized Mulayam Singh for all his skills and what he brought with him. And he actually wanted him to join. And ultimately, Mulayam Singh Yadav took the offer and he won the seat as a candidate of the Samyukt Social Party. Someone who has basically from very young age looked at, focused upon a particular section, how to emancipate them, and he took course of politics to do that. He was actually known for his policy Charkha Dao. Just like he's coming from or having an interest and passion in wrestling, this particular dao or this particular step is in the ring where one basically lifts the opponent off his feet, spins him around, and also ultimately throws him back onto the ground. It's kind of a tactics which was there at the back of his mind while he was practicing his political career. Now, in 1974, Mulayam Singh Yadav left this Socialist Party and joined the Bharatiya Kranti Dal, ultimately winning a seat from the Bharatiya Kranti Dal. During the government of Devagowda, he actually was valued as the Minister of Defense and he continued to hold that position till the time the government was in power. A very interesting book has been written by Sanjay Lathar, says Samajwad Ka Sarthi, which is actually a biography of Akhilesh Yadav, that which actually tells you that how Mulayam Singh Yadav during his early years of campaign actually worked on the slogan of Ek vote and ek note, as if they basically was asking for 1 rupee as donation and promised to return it with interest since they had no resources to fight for the election. It is a reflection of where he had started his journey, with how much of resources he had started his journey. The difficult times continued, especially during emergency when he served in the jail for 19 months. In 1977, when the Janata Dal came to power as the first non-Congress government, he was appointed as a Minister of State. It was an important moment because you firstly have the first non-Congress government, and in that position, he is given that state. During this time in 1992, he also ultimately founded one of the most important parties of India and particularly of Uttar Pradesh, the Samajwadi Party. The election symbol was decided as the bicycle. Now, during the entire period and coincidentally during the time when he started his party, the issue of demolition of Babri Masjid was going on. One of his controversial acts, which people say is to save his secular credentials, he ordered police firing on car sevaks in 1990. So this was also a time where he was touted as not just a Dalit leader, but some kind of a minority leader, in controversial terms, minority appeasement as well. But notwithstanding this, his contributions to Indian politics have been quite historical. As a state minister, he reserved the seats for the scheduled caste in cooperative institutions. This is what made him particularly the messiah of the backward classes. He also started several schemes, particularly for the empowerment of the less privileged in the sector of education, by starting coaching institutes for the SC, ST, OBC, helping them empower and prepare them for the different competitive examinations. This is particularly important in the case where he increased the OBC reservation from 15% to 27% on the basis of the report by Mandal Commission. This particularly ensured that you basically had some reservation, some support for these special categories. Also, it provided quota for various social categories in the Panchayati Raj institutions as well. His contributions, a very significant one, was how he had taken a big decision with regards to soldiers who were posted on the border of the country. Till Mr. Yadav had stepped in, the caps of martyrs were the only things that were returned back to the families of these soldiers into their homes. But soon after that, when Mulayam Singh Yadav changed this practice, and with an enactment of a law, if any soldier was martyred, his entire body was respectfully brought back to his ancestral home. In fact, not only this, funeral was also done along with the state honors. So this was something which, as a defense minister, was a very, very important, significant and respectful step. During his term as the defense minister, he also made, or rather India made, a big deal in the Sukhoi 30 aircraft. Alright. As a defense minister, he is also known for promoting Hindi in a lot of defense establishment correspondences. Overall, his contributions was very, very significant, but the most important one was how he actually stood for the downtrodden section, the Dalit community, the minorities, and bringing them, or rather being a face for their emancipation as well as empowerment. And in that memory, we should be remembering Shri Mulayam Singh Yadav. If you've liked the video, please let us know by liking it. You can share it and subscribe it as well. Thank you so much.